Thank you guys so much for joining me in today's session. We're going to be going into a beginner's guide, intro to color grading in Davinci Resolve 18. I've had a couple of friends mention that they would like to see something like this. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through an old project I did, worked on before, and kind of redo it. And I'm just going to do some basic things. I'm not going to do anything too crazy. This is literally just to get you started. This is not teaching you how to color grade. It's just showing you how to move around and do some basic things in Davinci Resolve. So let's go ahead and get started. Switch my view over, transition into my project. So you can see my project here. And I'm going to make sure we're good. I want to make sure that you're seeing everything moving like it should be. And it looks like we are we good? I'm just checking here on my phone to make sure that it's live doing the things I want it to be doing. Yeah, it looks like it is. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and hop here. So this is a project I did back in 2022 for my wife's business. She has a press-on nail company, and she makes custom press-on nails. And this was a summer campaign. She made a special set for the summer in 2022, and she was advertising that specific set. So I shot this for her. When I shot this, I had just got a new camera, and I did not really know how to use the camera properly. So we just went out and just did it, because I was on the camera. I just got the new camera and got rid of my old ones. So I was like, this is all we got. We just had to go for it. And I did not know how to properly expose. So these shots are a little bit overexposed, but we're going to still kind of show. I'm just kind of still show you, even in that extreme worst case scenario, what you still can do in Davinci Resolve. All right, so whenever you get to the color page, you start with what's called a node. So if you see here your little node box here, you click that one and off. So nodes is how you edit, essentially, in Davinci Resolve. Each node will basically have whatever adjustments you make. The cool thing about this is, so that way you can kind of, when you're doing your color grades and things like that, so that way you can make fine-tune changes. It's good to have multiple nodes, if that makes sense. So you don't want to do everything in one node, because like if you had to go back and make a change, you'd have to kind of go in there and dissect and figure out what you did. And it's easier if everything's like labeled, separated. So let me just go into it and show you. So what I'm going to do is add some more nodes. And if you want to add a quick shortcut, you can hit Alt or Option, whatever your keyboard says. It'll probably be Option or something like that, or Alt. All keyboards are different, but if you hit Option or Alt S, it will add more nodes. So I'm going to do that, and then you add more nodes this way. Kind of glitched up a little bit there. Then you can also do the reverse and then Shift Z and then go back. Oh no, I messed that up. That's not right. That was not right. Let's go back to fit. Anyways, yeah, you can add them backwards as well, but I'm just gonna. Hold on, why is this not? I'm using a different keyboard than one I normally use, so I have to remember my shortcuts. It's kind of throwing me off a little bit. There we go. All right, I got it. So start over here. So if you want to, so let's say I wanted whatever I have here. Let's say I wanted to add another node before number one. I would go Shift S, and then my first node became my second one. So if you want to add a node forward, you hit Alt or Option S. Add a node backwards, Shift S. So that's how that goes. But anyways, I'm just going to work with, I will work with the 4. And you can kind of move these around however you want. These are just serial nodes. I really don't want to go into all that right now, because it's overcomplicating it. But there are different types of nodes that have different functions and how they relate to each other, essentially. You can do, for different effects, different things you want to do, you have more advanced nodes. I'll go into that in another video. But let's just say we're just going to do everything we need to do here with just serial nodes. Basically, you see the little lines here connecting each green triangle, and then a square, and then a green triangle square. So essentially it's like connecting each point. So one node leads to the other node. So you have your base, this is my starting point, and then the next node adds on top of that one, and then the next node adds on top of that. So it's like you're feeding the information from the previous node into the next one. So that's why there's different nodes for different things, because if you don't want your nodes to operate in that way, you can affect it. You can change it. But what I'm going to do is label, and I'm going to do a node label, right click, hit node label here. In this first one, I'm going to call primaries, because I'm going to use my primary wills to make my adjustments there. This one I'm going to call curves. I'm going to do my S curve adjustments there. This one, how do I want to do this? I'm going to name this one, I'm not going to go too crazy on this. I'm going to name this one, we'll call it Vig for Vignette, so it's just shorthand. And then my final is going to be I'm going to put my LUT here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is add, because I shot this in log. I shoot on the Fujifilm X-T3, so that's f-log1. So I have some LUTs already for that. So I'm just going to grab whatever the LUT, so basically get it to a Rec 709. So I could call, I guess I couldn't call this actually Rec 709. Get it to that Rec 709 basic look. So how it looked in camera, how it should look in camera. You shoot in log. If you do photography, it's like shooting raw for video. Almost, it's not quite. There is a raw for video, but it's like you're shooting in a flatter profile to give yourself more room to work with when you're editing, like when you want to do your color grading, and it also gives you more flexibility. In some cases, you'll get more information in your highlights, things like that. So not all logs are created equal. So each camera's log is different. So sometimes with log you can get more latitude, but it's not like you shoot your camera in log is not the same for every camera's log. So you need to do research on that one. But you can usually find whatever the profile was that you were shooting in on the manufacturer's website or something like that. So in my case, I went to Fujifilm's, and where did I save this at? I think it's in my downloads. Yeah. So I'm gonna throw on the XC3. Here we go. Eterna. I don't remember what I shot when I did this one, but you can use whatever you want essentially. But I don't know if I did Eterna. Let's see. I'll roll with this one. F-log gamut, CWR. Whoa, I don't remember. I need to look that up, because I don't remember. Basically, it's getting to like a basic look. I don't think I shot this in Eterna. Maybe I did. I'll just roll with this one. I like how it looks. You should know which, like I said, this is an older project, so I'm not 100%, I don't remember which profile I would have been shooting this in. But anyway, so we set that. So essentially what that does is that starts. So in some cases, some people might be fine with that. It's like, this is out of camera. This is what your camera gave you, and you're just done with your project. You said, I'm not going to edit nothing. I'm not going to make any adjustments. That's good. I'm done. Just a quick little aside, if you want to take off, if you want to bypass your effects and your color grades, you can hit the bypass button here, and then it will, make sure you can see that. I'm not sure this is showing up correctly on your guys' end. Yes, it is. I wanted to make sure you can see that. You click this button, it bypasses before you made all your adjustments. But basically what I'm getting at, you can do the same thing on your actual node. If you click on the number of the node, it will mute it essentially, or silence the track so you don't see it, or deactivate it. So now you can see this is what we started with, this super flat log profile, the Rec 709 adjustment, brings it to like a good starting point. Like, okay, this is where you're at, so now you can make your adjustments from there. You can do that without having that, but it's just like it helps you get to a good starting point, and then from there you can make your adjustments. So now everything I'm doing is going to be more of a creative, you know, aspect of what I'm going for, not so much just trying to get it to a basic level. All right, so first off, I don't really like how the colors are looking on their skin. Oh, sorry about that. You probably didn't see that anyway. Something just popped up on my screen. So what I want to do, well, first thing I do, you have curve. I like to start with curves. So my second node is curves. So I want to come over here. If you look here in this little middle panel, you have all your different adjustments and different tools to make adjustments with. So I'm going to click on curves, and this is, I'm just pretty much, then I'm going to click over here to these three dots, editable splines. You want to click on that. And then what that allows you to do is when you click on your little points here, it pops up. Hold on, it's not working on my end. There it is. It's a little slow on my end, so it probably looks okay for you guys. My computer's just stuttering a little bit. But you get like another little adjustment to be able to make fine tuner more, like you just really just making subtle fine tune details. If I didn't have that on, let me just show you guys what that would be like. So you can see without it, no, that's not right. Took it off. Editable splines is off. So now when I'm making my adjustments, I don't have that little extra piece that sticks out. Not that you can't just do it like this, but I just like to have more control, if that makes sense. If you want to make your guys curve. Anyways, I'm gonna put it back to where it was, go back to editable splines. And now I have that extra flexibility that I want. I'm just gonna do a slight contrast. This is essentially for contrast purposes, just a little bit. I'm not gonna do most of it here because for one, the highlights are already clipped as it is. So I really don't want to do a lot there. So I'm gonna leave that how it is. Primary, again, I'm not trying to teach you guys how to color grade in this one, but that'll be for another time. There's ways to go in and really, really fine tune things. But let's say, so for here, your primary log wheels is where you're gonna do a lot of your heavy lifting, because you can really you get your temperature, your tint, contrast, pivot. You got a lot of different things. Saturations down here, highlight shadows. You get a lot of different things that you can do here. So I'm just going to play with the contrast first a little bit. Just kind of boost that a little bit, make it pop some more. A little bit more separation in the image there. And again, if you want to see what you're doing as you go, you can click on and off. Same thing with the curve, see what it's doing. Take the curves off, put that, all that's off, that, and you can see what each node is doing. So you're like, okay, I can see what's going on here. Now, it just has a wash. This is just the way that particular LUT is. I'm just not feeling how pink everything is looking. So I'm going to go to the mid-tones and just kind of try to add a little. Let's see. That's pushing it a lot. Just wanted to make sure I was doing something there. Just going to kind of push it away. Push it to the red a little bit. And then you can kind of see over here in the scopes, you can see that moving, like the line for your skin tones. There's a lot of different colors going on here, so. And I could also isolate it. And it's okay. I could also isolate just them and play with it that way. Again, I'm not trying to go into all those things. I'm just doing a quick little adjustments. Let's see, add a little bit of saturation. Get a little pop. I don't want to overdo it. So if I would fine tune this a lot more and really mess around with it. I want some warmth. That's what I'm missing. It just feels a little. Push that. There it is. Add some life to it. Push that summer vibe. That's what this whole thing was. Summer. Make it feel a little bit more warm. That feels a lot better already. Now I'm going to go over here to my vignette node. And then what you want to do is, there's a bunch of different ways to do this. That's what I like about Davinci Resolve. There's so many different ways to do things. But I'm going to show you how I do it. So I'm going to come over here to the windows. And windows are definitely something you're going to use a lot. Anyone who color grades in Davinci Resolve probably uses power windows for things a lot. Alright, so again, you can come here and do so many different things, but what we're trying to do right now, I'm just going to grab a circle, and there is an actual a vignette effect in here, but I just like doing it this way because it's how I learned how to do it, but then also just get a lot of control. Like I'm basically hand painting my vignette. So this is like the range of where I want it to be at. We'll keep it somewhere in the center, make it a little wider. This is like the edges, so you'll see here. The white circles basically give you your shape. This is how you shape the window, and then the red feathers. So the more you pull out, the more you feather it. And I really like to feather things a lot when I do them, so that way it's not obvious. I don't want the vignette to be crazy stylistic. It's just to add a slight just like a slight shadow around them, but just to highlight them. It's a way that I use to create more contrast and more highlight for the subject. There's 100,000 different ways to do that, but it's just a simple, quick way how I like to use vignettes in that way. In its current form, this vignette is not going to do what we need it to do. So I'm going to hit the invert button here, and it's going to swap it to be everything outside of the circle. So when it was, let me show you this way. If you hit Shift H, it will show you what your effect is doing that you have on, that you're working on right here. So so basically everything within the gray is what's going to get affected. I don't want that because I want to affect the outer region, the edges. So I'm going to hit the invert button here, and it's going to swap it. Now you see, now it's going to affect everything outside of the gray, which is what I want. So now I'm going to turn that off so you can see in real time what I'm doing. I'm going to go back to my primaries in the color wheel, the log wheels. And this is why it's good to do different nodes, because I could have done everything I've done so far on one node, but if I wanted to adjust it, one thing specifically, I wouldn't be able to. Once you're in a node, you can have as many of the different, adjustments in a node. You don't have to keep one adjustment in one node. I can have multiple things going on. So in this case, I have two things because I have the power window. So I'm setting what I want to be affected. Now I'm choosing to use the primaries, the log wheels, to do the effect. So what I'm going to do is I'll just start with midtones and start pulling my midtones down with the wheel here at the bottom. So you just see that. I'm pulling that over. You can see the adjustments happening. And then you can look over here. I'm going to go over exaggerate it so that way you can see. I really pushed it there. So I'm pulling it back some, but I just wanted you to be able to see what's happening. So you can kind of see that when I on and off it, what it was doing. You go, oh, okay, so it looks a little crazy because I did too much. So I'm going to pull it back and just do a little bit. Oops, sorry about that. Actually, I'm going to do it in the shadows because the midtones is kind of like where they are, their skin. Yeah, it looks better to me. It's slight. It's very slight, which is what I want. I'm going to push it a little bit more, just so it's a little more exaggerated. But it doesn't look as unnatural now. And then when I on and off it, you can kind of see on the edges, it's getting darker. But I actually wanted to do a little bit more than that. So let me just push it some more. I'm gonna feather it out. Just that way it blends. And now you can kind of see it, what it's doing. It's kind of making it pop a little bit more. I pushed it a lot, but I wanted you guys to see what was happening. That's why I did that. And I could also bring it in. So like if you wanted it to have more of an effect on more of the image, you can shape it however you want it to do that. So now you see it's doing more of the image. So okay. So that is that. It'd probably be easier to tell if it was in a wider shot too, to really see what's happening. Another cool thing you can do, not that we need to do that on this shot, but because it's not like it's a whole lot of stuff happening, but you could track. So I could like track this to stay on this region. But like I said, it's not like it's a lot of movement. You don't really need to track this, but you can. So I'm gonna hit tracker and it'll go backward and forward. And it just really quickly analyzed the scene. And now this power window is gonna track with their movement. Not that it was necessarily necessary to do that, but you can. You have that option. So you see how dark the trees are. I wouldn't do this normally. I'm just pushing so that way you guys can see what's happening. Right. So there we go. So we can kind of just go through. We started off. Let me go back to the beginning. We started off with our X709 adjustment. So we start off with like here first. Then our X709, just got it to a good starting point. This could be it for some people. I said, oh, this is exactly what I wanted it to look like. This is cool. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to have more pop, more warmth. But first, the next thing I did was the curves. So I wanted to add a little contrast. You can kind of see that, especially in the shadows. Like in the trees, I didn't push the highlights that much because the highlights are already hot. Then you got your primaries. That to me is what starts really making the look for me, because I was like, yeah, that's where I wanted it. Some correction. I didn't really do a heavy grade, it's more correction, but I did warm it up a lot more. And then the vignette, which in this case doesn't really feel to do that much on this shot, so I probably would either take it off or not really use it. So again, if I didn't want it, just do that. I don't have to have it in there. So, and then just for fun, I'm gonna throw another adjustment in here. It's gonna be a third. I'm gonna show you guys some effects. Let's try, which one do I wanna try? I want you guys to sound crazy. Maybe I'll do the glow effect. Just grab it, drag and drop it, and you can really see this is like early 2000s, super crazy music video look. I don't know, maybe some CSI Miami beach shot. But you can mess with the threshold on that, really push it, and it's like, whoa, you know, or you can bring it back. But if you just want to kind of like, I don't know, create a little glow, make it have that pop, that type of vibe, you can kind of change what it does. Vignette, reflecting camera. I'm gonna put it on the vignette. You can change the composite mode and do different things like that. Add normal, add opacity, the opacity, you can bring it up, bring it down, how much you notice it, don't notice it. So like, I'm just overdoing it so you guys can see what's happening. Bump that gain up more, you know, do different things. So yeah, then if you were like, oh, let me note label, I'll say glow, so we know that's there. Not all shots are created equal, so it'll have different effects on different things. So, you know, it's cool. I'll leave it on just so we can see it. And yeah, oop, I didn't mean to go there. Let's go back. So yeah, that's that. Let me close that out so that we get some more real estate back here. Close the nodes out too. Pull up my summer gallery. Okay, so yeah, you can change all types of stuff. If you wanted to see your timeline from this angle, you could pop it up to see like, all right, this is the clip. I'm over here working. This is what like it looks like on your edit page, essentially. So you can kind of move around to different clips. This is the original one I did. I was just messing around. It was a lot more complicated, more stuff going on, so I didn't want to have to show you show you guys all of that stuff. But this is what I got here, and I'll just play it through real quick so you can see it. I don't think I have, yeah, I muted the track. Don't want any copyright issues. And yeah. Oh, that's not what I thought I was gonna do. I'm gonna extend that out some more. I just hopped over to the edit page. I know you probably can't see that because I have to set it a certain way on my program, but I'm coming right back. I just wanted to make it a little bit longer. So yeah, let's do a quick little before and after for you guys. I guess you can see the edit page. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do a quick little before and after. So I'm gonna start it. Nice slow-mo shot. Stop it there. I'm gonna delete that. Put it over. And all I'm gonna do is go in and you guys can watch me do it. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will try my best to answer any questions you have. I'm just gonna basically mute everything. Because I could just reset everything, but I already did it, it's fine. So we're gonna have a quick little before and after here, and then we'll end out the stream. And I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching. Quick little before, and then the after, and there we go. So that is how you get going in color grading in Davinci Resolve. Let's go ahead and transition out there. Nothing too complicated. That really wasn't a tutorial on how to color grade. I would also do a lot of things differently and really fine tune things a little bit better. I was just roughly going through. That'll help you get started. So if you get to the color page and you're like, I don't know what I'm looking at, now you know, you can use that as a guide or reference to just play with it. And now when you're going through, at least you have an idea of how to move around, what does what, and you can start to experiment and play with things. But thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate it. Thank you for hopping on the stream, watching. If you're not watching live, if you watch after the fact, please feel free to leave comments, ask me questions, and if you want me to follow up on something or explain something in more detail, I can totally do that. But more streams will be coming out, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.